The air is really a mix of basically 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, and 1% of others. And really our business is related to this 1%, because small changes on these gases can carry a lot of problems. But how to monitor the ambient? All the measures are related to the temperature, the humidity, and the pressure. So you will always need to know these parameters: temperature, humidity, and air pressure. We have two plug and sense models in our program useful for Smart Environment projects: Smart Environment Pro and the Smart Cities Pro. What I will say about the Smart Environment Pro is completely useful for Smart Cities Pro too. So first of all, as usual, you need to choose the communication protocol, and after, go to the next page and choose the sensors. Temperature, humidity, and pressure are always needed, so the socket E is occupied. If you need to monitor the particle matter, you must fit to socket D, and you cannot connect any other sensor to this socket. So finally, you can connect up to 4 gases sensors to the sockets A, B, C, and F. There's also a possibility of connecting ultrasound sensor or luminosity sensor to socket E, if this is free. Please always double-check this socket's compatibility. You have a list of 18 gases sensors to choose among. On the technical whites, you have the range and the accuracy of each sensor. Please be sure that the feature of the sensor accomplishes with the customer's expectancy. Libelium does not manufacture the sensors. We buy the sensors and we adapt to our platform. So the sensors are made by a third. They manufacture and calibrate the sensor in their factory. The sensor loses accuracy as the time is passing. The manufacturers say that after 12 months, the accuracy is not enough and you must exchange them. And it is not possible to recalibrate the sensor. So the only way to assure the accuracy is to exchange the sensors often. The particle sensor is not electrochemical, but optical. It's enough to clean the lens and the fan sometimes, and you can keep a long time if you are reading coherent values. Let's check the most important applications. What is the air quality index? The worst pollutants in our cities caused by traffic are SO2, NO2, CO, O3, and the particle matter. The particle matter are especially dangerous. The smaller, the worse, because the penetration is higher. And the other gases are the cause of the acid rain, the damages in the lung tissue, impedes the oxygen to transport to the cells, or causes irritation in respiratory tract, accelerates the cellular oxidation. The air quality index is a number from 0 to 500, where 0 is the best possible value. This number will give you an idea about the quality of the air you are breathing. The parameters you need to know are the CO, SO2, NO2, O3, and particles. And of course, all this data related to the temperature, humidity, and pressure. The advantage of the air quality index are that the forecast is possible and modeling the pollution behavior is also possible. You can establish preventive actions for health, for emergency and organization services, and monitoring the risk. Finally, you will reduce the problems. All the cities are measuring the air quality index with a high precision. In all the cities, you can see some monitoring stations with a very high accuracy, scientific level, are very expensive measure units, $250,000 American dollars and more, difficult and expensive to deploy and to maintain. So only a small number of stations can be deployed due to the cost. You can give all this data using our plug and sense and the right sensors. The solution is very cost effective for about a small part of the cost of a scientific unit. But of course, the accuracy is not the same. Be careful with this. Sometimes the customers want the accuracy of the stations with a cost of 300,000 American dollars, but investing almost nothing. You can deploy plug and sense devices for creating a support network. If you deploy some plug and sense in a city, you have more data, and with some intelligence and big data treatment, the specialists can improve their knowledge and their forecast. There are a lot of cities in Europe, in America, in Asia, wherever, with this support network working or in project to be deployed in short time. Another interesting application is the forest fire prevention. You get two features, the risk monitoring and the early warning. With the basic data of temperature, humidity, and pressure, you can make your own risk map with your hot and cold areas and deploying the workforce in the right place. This is very useful for taking all the decisions related to the preventive actions. When the fire just started, the early warning is based in the concentration of CO and CO2. When the fire just started, CO2 concentration suddenly rises because of the complete combustion of leaves, leaf litter, etc. When the fire started some time ago, the CO concentration will rise because of the incomplete combustion, branches, trunks, and trees in general. So what you need is a network of plug and sense Smart Environment Pro with temperature, humidity, and pressure sensor, CO2 calibrated probe, and CO low concentration calibrated probe. Of course, monitoring the wind speed, the fallen rain, and the direction of the wind is important too, but you can do easily this with plug and sense Smart Agriculture in a weather station. The user question is how many nodes to deploy. Following some studies, 1 node by hectare is optimal. The more the better, of course. But the budget of the project will tell you how many nodes you can afford. This will be your number. Smart Environment Pro is a cost-effective solution, but usually is not working alone. It's deployed as support of a network with control TV, a spectrum analyzer, etc. The optimal deployment, as I told you, is 1 node per hectare, but the budget will tell you how many sensors to deploy. So there are also a lot of good opportunities in industrial ambience. Sometimes the ambient is important for the quality of the product or even for the health of the workers. The temperature, humidity, and air pressure, of course, you need to monitor clean ambience in food industry, in printing industry, the dangerous concentration of some gases, like in a batteries warehouse, for example, controlling CO2 in a fermentation process, in a brewery, in a cheese factory, controlling the CO in a workshop with exhausts, controlling the particles in the air in printing, pharmaceuticals, etc. It's very easy, the determination of the most important gases in the ambient. So there are a lot of opportunities in the smart environment, outdoor and indoor. Research your market and let's power together the IoT revolution.